Welcome to Just the Facts, where we stick to the verified record. I'm Alex.
And I'm Ben. Today we're unpacking the very recent and really factually complex developments in the case of Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah.
While she is serving a 20-year sentence, the story has just taken a turn that has legal observers and, victims advocates asking some really serious questions.
That's right, Ben. The headline fact is this. Ghislaine Maxwell has been moved from a low-security prison in Florida to a minimum-security federal prison camp in Bryan, Texas.
Right.
On its face, it's just a logistical note, but the context is everything.
And let's get right to that context, because it's crucial. I'm benching this speculation. What makes this move so notable, Alex?
Two key facts. Deliberate. First, the nature of the facility.
Okay.
FPC Bryan is primarily for nonviolent white-collar offenders. In fact, it's where Elizabeth Holmes and Jen Shaw are serving their sentences.
Wow.
Bureau of Prisons policy, it generally makes convicted sex offenders like Maxwell ineligible for such a placement without a specific waiver.
And what's really striking to legal observers is the timing. This transfer didn't happen in a vacuum.
Right.
It came just days after Maxwell and her lawyer held a 9-hour, 2-day meeting with the Deputy U.S. Attorney General, Todd Blanche.
Wow.
And the DOJ has been completely silent about what was discussed.
So to understand why this is so controversial, it's essential to go back to the facts of her conviction. Why is she in prison in the first place?
A crucial question. Let's look at the official record.
Yeah.
In December 2021, a jury found Maxwell guilty on 5 counts. That includes the most serious charges of sex trafficking of a minor and conspiracy.
Right.
She was sentenced to 20 years. This wasn't a case about being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Not according to the evidence presented in court, not at all.
No.
Over a decade, from 1994 to 2004, the prosecution proved she was Epstein's essential partner. She recruited and groomed teenage girls, some as young as 14.
Right.
Trial testimony from 4 women who are now adults detailed how Maxwell was not just present for the abuse, but actively participated.
And the evidence, it went way beyond testimony.
Yeah.
Financial records showed Epstein transferred over $30 million to her accounts.
Okay.
Witnesses described her as Epstein's number 2, the lady of the house, who ran his life and was central to the criminal operation.
Right.
So you have this conviction for predatory, hands-on crimes, and then this move to a facility that prison employees themselves described as having lax security.
Yeah.
The outrage from victims' families is, well, it's palpable.
And while this transfer dominates the headlines, there's this whole other major development unfolding in the courts. Her last-ditch legal effort.
This is the Supreme Court appeal. It's a legal Hail Mary for sure, but it hinges on a very real point of law.
Exactly. Maxwell's lawyers have petitioned the Supreme Court, which will soon decide whether to even hear her case. The argument isn't about her guilt or innocence. It's about a contract.
Okay, let's break that down simply.
Okay.
It's about a 2007 non-prosecution agreement. Think of it as a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Right.
That Jeffrey Epstein negotiated with federal prosecutors in Florida.
Right.
That deal included a line protecting not just him, but also, quote, any potential co-conspirators.
Right. So Maxwell's argument is basically, I was his co-conspirator, so that deal should have protected me too.
Wow.
The problem for prosecutors in her New York case was that they weren't part of that Florida deal.
And this is where it gets interesting for the entire legal system.
Yeah.
It's like the referees in different football leagues are using completely different rule books for the same play.
Okay.
Some federal courts say a promise from the United States in one state binds the entire U.S. government. Others, like the court in Maxwell's case, say it only binds the specific office that made the deal.
And the Supreme Court exists to resolve these splits, to create one uniform rule.
Yeah.
If they decide to hear her case to fix this legal inconsistency and then rule in her favor, her conviction could be overturned.
Wow.
If they refuse to hear it, which is, let's be honest, the more likely outcome, her appeals are over.
So we are left with these two parallel and consequential tracks.
Right.
A mysterious high-level meeting followed by a preferential prison transfer and a final long-shot appeal to the highest court in the land, all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
This is a case that just continues to generate more questions than answers.
Now, here's a question we'd like you to think about. Given the facts of Maxwell's prison transfer following a meeting with the highest levels of the Justice Department, it raises a fundamental issue. When dealing with powerful and connected individuals, can the justice system ever be truly insulated from the perception of influence? What does real accountability look like when the story doesn't end at the prison gates?